Hello and welcome. It's Stop Reactivity Live. I am loaded, armed and dangerous. So lovely Linda, one of our super cool Absolute Dogs trainers says. And what I mean by that is, oh my goodness, there are so many cool resources here for you today. So if it's your first time here, let us know in the comments. If you've been here before, let us know in the comments. It's our time to introduce ourselves. I'm Lauren. I train at one of the largest facilities possibly in the UK. I teach dogs, pet dogs, working dogs. Myself, I have agility dogs. I literally love dog training. I live it, breathe it, sleep it. I love to train dogs. And yet I've experienced my fair few reactive and dogs with reactivity struggles. And those have been my own dogs, but also they've been clients' dogs, students' dogs. And I've helped thousands of dogs all over the world and their owners deal with reactivity. How about you? It's your turn. Tell me a little bit about your dog. Tell me a little bit about the reactivity struggles you might have with your dog, and also tell us more about what you'd like to achieve and what you'd hope to achieve from being here, because I know when you own a reactive dog, it can be pretty stressful. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm Lauren and I'd love to know a little bit more about you and your dog. So in the comments, we've got the lovely Sue, we've got Super Kathy, we've got lovely Anne, we've got Catherine, we've got lovely Neat, and we've got Jenny. Now, if you haven't already, you've got some super cool bonuses here. I don't know what to do with all these things in my hands. I'm going to put my phone there. We've got some super cool bonuses for you. Now, if you pre-registered, and when you pre-register, there's an early bird bonus for you. So when you pre-register, the early bird bonus is an A to B game card. It's a really cool card. There's lots and lots you can do with it. We talk about the game. We talk about how you play the game, we give you demos, and then we give you a bit of a training tracker, a record sheet. And that is all free to you when you did a pre-register. And remember, this is free. So this is completely free. If you haven't already shared it, share it for the love of dogs. Share it for the love of your friends. Share it for the love of all things dog training, because the more people that know about stopping reactivity, the easier your walks are going to be, because other people are aware of when a dog's behavior is actually entirely inappropriate or appropriate. So that's what I'd like to do. Let's make it a share mission for the love of dogs. That's A to B. Now, if you've pre-registered, you'll have that already. If you didn't pre-register though, there's also a show up bonus for you, because we want to share dog training all over the world. Did I mention it's free? It's completely free for you, your friends, your neighbor, your sister, your mother, your brother, your long lost lover, whoever it might be, it's free. Now, all you need to do to get this show up bonus, and this is literally for you turning up here and showing up, bringing the energy and telling other people about it, you need to literally pop the word, where is the word? The word is reactivity. Pop the word reactivity in the comments if you're on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, you can scan the QR code, it's there for you, or you can type in absolutedogs.me/stop reactivity bonus, and that's there for you. So those bonuses are there for you. They're throughout this live, and they're really worth a good look, and they're worth a share. With DMT, this is a game called Distraction, Mark and Treat. And what we do is we go through exactly how to play the game. We tell you what you'll need. It's very simple. You, your dog, and food. You can see I've got my food in here for my very hungry little hound in a second. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's very, very simple. And then we show you how you can be doing on a daily basis with and without distractions to help dogs and their owners all over the world. Who is game for that? Because I'm certainly game for that. And I'm excited to show you with a very naughty little dog, actually, not yet, but pretty soon, I'm going to show you with a naughty little dog, and you're going to get to play some games with me. Who is up for that? Now, I'd love you to tell me if you're up for that in the comments, so definitely let me know. And I'd also love to know a little bit more about you. Now, when you share, please let me know that you've shared, and it's hashtag Stop Reactivity Live. So it's hashtag Stop Reactivity Live. Share the live link on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Literally share it all over, and there's a chance for you to win. And I'm going to do our first prizes right now. And we continue to do prizes throughout the whole of the live. So do tell us that you're sharing. So your step 1, share the live, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Use the Stop Reactivity Live hashtag on your captions, and make sure your post is set to public so that you're share counts. Now, our first 3 share prizes, I am ready for you. I am looking, I'm watching for a share because you are going to win. Now, what am I going to give you? I'm going to give you a first month free of part of what we do, really. You get to come and join us and you get to watch all of our games in Games Club. You're going to get your first month's free. And if you have already got Games Club and you're a Games Clubber, tell us in the comments, number 1. And number 2, we're going to give you a voucher so that you can utilize some of the super cool online courses that we offer here at Absolute Dogs, because we're here to help dogs, to help you, and to help your dog training journey. How cool is that? So who has shared? Let me know if you shared, because I'm going to pick our first 3 winners. Let me see who I'm going to pick. So I'm looking through. Welcome Laura, welcome Molly, welcome Nona, welcome the lovely JM Wilkinson, welcome Tracy, welcome Paula, welcome Jill, well, Paul and Jill, welcome Tracy again, another Pam. I love that you guys are sharing. Well done for sharing. Okay, so my first winner chicken dinner. I want to see that you're sharing, guys, because you've got to, you know what? I'm going to come back to in a second. I think you're just lagging on me. I'm going to wait to see a few more because I think if I do it right now, it looks like I'm just picking a friend. I keep seeing people I know here. So what I'd really love to do is I'd like to pick you for sharing. So throw your shares in and I'm going to come over and find a winner very, very soon. Okay, so you've got your prizes coming. So I'm going to give away prizes. We know our early bird bonus. We know our show up bonus. And of course, I've got something pretty special that we're going to be releasing that you're going to have the opportunity to see today. Now, you can ask questions at any time. We welcome questions. They're a great way for you to learn a little more about what we do, but also they're a great way for you to learn about what you can do with your dog. And that's really key. And that's what we're most of all here to do and here to help with. So, without further ado, I'm picking 3 people who have shared. Now let me see. And you can share to your own page, you can share to a group, you can share to a dog training page, you can share to a dog training group. Anyone that you think we might be able to help today, that's what I'm up for sharing to. So let's do that. Okay. So who have we got here? We've got the lovely Anne. So the lovely Anne Eukins, you have shared with flowers and emojis. You are going to win. So if you're already a Games Clubber, you're going to get to win a voucher. If you're not already a Games Clubber, you're going to win your first month for free. How cool is that? Okay, now let's head to some teaching, I think, because I think that's what we're all really here for. So as much as I can give away your prizes, I know that we've got some teaching. So I'm going to get my little dog. And today I'm going to be working first off with our little mini Jasper here. So mini Jasper is on a double lead. And the reason I'm using him is because I do want to show you some poor leash mechanics as well as some great leash mechanics. Now, as you can see, Jasper's on a double lead. And the reason he's on a double lead is because actually it gives us 2 points of contact on potentially a very naughty little dog. When he's at the other end of his leash and he's lunging, he's barking and he's doing all the things, we actually have 2 points of contact so that we can move him appropriately as needed. Think of yourself as working with a horse. You actually, when you're working with a horse, you do want to give yourself a little bit of leverage, especially if you're maybe struggling with your mobility, or maybe you're struggling with the fact your dog's a bit stronger than you, or maybe you're just not feeling like Lara Croft. So if you struggle on leash mechanics, talk to me now, because I want to hear from you about leash mechanics. So what do you struggle with? What do you find hard? What is difficult for you? Let me know with leash mechanics, because I'm going to answer some questions for you, but I'm also going to talk a little bit more about the leash mechanics, because the leash mechanics really, really do make a difference. So when I'm thinking leash mechanics, 2 things. One is, if I've got a difficult dog on lead, I'm always going to have 2 hands on my lead. So if you want to note take any of these points, if you want to be ready for any of these points, I've owned reactive dogs, I've taught thousands of reactive dogs, and we've come through it at the other end where owners feel empowered and they feel great about working with their reactive dog. So I've got my reactive dog here, and like I said, I'm going to pull him around a bit, so I'm going to use a stuffed dog to show you what we see and what we struggle with. So you'll see a dog at the other end of the lead, the dog's back flipping, the dog's doing all the crazy stuff, and the owner's kind of going, ah, and with it. That's not what we want. Who feels like that some days? Let me know in the comments if you feel like that some days, and we all have been there. So number 1, 2 hands on the lead gives you a bit more leverage. So give you 2 hands on the lead. I like to think of it a little bit like reins. So I kind of can sometimes take the rein approach, where I've got my thumb and I'm giving that like level of leash pressure. So I'm playing a little bit with leash pressure so that I can kind of give and take, give and take, give and take, give and take. I've been really lucky in my dog training that I've always been around a lot of positive reinforcement trainers. And so for me, being able to teach leash mechanics and leash work with the give and take is really, really nice. So 2 points of contact, 2 hands on the lead. So you've got 2 hands on the lead. You're giving and taking, you're giving and taking, you're giving and taking. So I want to be giving and taking. When you want to stop and walk into your dog, let me just remove my phone so I know I'm not attached. So if you want to stop and walk into your dog, walk across your dog. So sometimes walk across your dog. And when you walk across your dog, you put your dog in a different space. And equally, sometimes you can be working figures of 8 where your dog is matching you. So there's a level of something we would call mirroring and matching. And when you're mirroring and matching, your dog is working with you. You walk forwards, you walk into the dog, and I'll show you with a real dog a little bit later, and she'll do it off lead and on lead, and so I can show you off lead and on lead. But what we're looking for is the dog to mirror and match us. When you step back, your dog steps back. When you step forward, your dog steps forward. When you step sideways, your dog steps sideways. And if I'm seeing a lot of reactivity, I actually quite like it that I'll step into the dog and I'll step into the dog. So I actually will effectively block their space. And I think this is really nice when we think about leash mechanics. The other thing to think about is when I look at my little dog here, I can use a front clip on a harness, and that can be one thing that can help with leash reactivity because you've actually got that front point to steer the dog. So effectively, you've got like power assisted steering. So rather than relying on the dog doing the right thing, you have an extra level of leverage really, and it's kind leverage. So this is kind leverage. There's nothing unkind about that. All you're doing is bringing the dog back to the space that you want to bring them to. Equally, if you want them on a collar, you can have them on a collar leash. So you can do collar and harness. So again, you've got that kind leverage to be able to bring them back round. I quite like a harness double leash setup for reactive dogs. And there's loads of different brands of harnesses. There's loads of different options of harnesses, but I think have one with a front D-clip can be quite a nice option. So I'm going to just go and head to my phone for a second. I want to see if there are any questions on that. And I'd like you to tell me if there's anything you're struggling on with your leash mechanics. And I'd also like to know if you've got any troubles that I can go through. So this is a great one. Lisa Marie Puente. I love your gorgeous name. I don't know where you're from. Tell us in the comments where you're from or where your name's from. It definitely doesn't sound British. And so what I'd love to see is videos of dogs like this because it really helps us to help coach you. But she says, I try to step in, but he just jumps over me. So here's something else to think about when we're holding that leash. So you try to step in, but he just jumps over you. You can almost give a level of leverage away. So you can actually be like, now you're staying that distance. Now you are staying that distance. So you almost fix the space that they're in. So you can fix that space. Let me just move a little bit closer to camera for you. So you can fix that space and you're not going to let him change sides. So your dog isn't allowed to do side to side. They're just not allowed to do that. They are not allowed to bounce from side to side. They are going one side only. So if you're that side, your dog is that side. Your dog doesn't get to cross this way and that way. Tell Skittles, my little Cocker Spaniel, that. It's fun to tell her that. But you're not allowing your dog to do this. Yeah, when you're walking, you're doing that. And if you need to fix them there, you fix them there. And the cool thing is this stops spinning as well, because I've got a spaniel who likes to spin. She's literally a whirlwind. So when she goes to spin, I can just use my front D-clip or my front collar to help with that. Does that make sense, guys? If it makes sense, let me know. I'm going to take another question. I hope that helped, because those are things that all help with me. So they really, really all help with me. And if you haven't already shared, guys, share it, because I'm looking for shares that can win. So if you are sharing it, you get a chance of winning. Okay, any other questions on leash mechanics? For me, a couple of things. My dog stays on that side of me. If I put them on that side of me, they stay on that side of me. No spinning. So I stop the spinning. So spinning is stopped by the front D-ring or the front collar clip. So I stop the spinning. There is to be no spinning. What else would I say for the jumping across you? Give yourself a level of leverage. So actually you are not coming across me. I'm not giving you the option. No cutting behind you either. They're not to cut behind you. So there's no cutting behind you, no cutting in front of you. They stay on the side you put them on, or at least until you tell them otherwise. And I think that's quite important. If I do want to allow them to go from side to side, I take them there. So I take them there rather than they do that. Okay, let me know this leash control is wonderful. I was not aware of it. Just shared it with my son who walks our big dog. Yes, Loretta. Well done, Loretta. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Lovely Sarah William. And Susan says it makes sense. And if you haven't shared already, share it because I'm looking for people to give prizes to. So I'm actively looking. Okay, another one with leash mechanics, guys. And I think this is important when you've got a dog who is reactive. So another one with leash mechanics. I don't know if we can see my dog here. So if my dog does go to lunge forwards, remember, step into the dog. So step into the dog. Go into their space, rather than letting them go across you. So if your dog does go to lunge forward, so my dog goes to lunge forward, let me come back a little. If my dog goes to lunge forwards like that, as he goes to lunge forward, rather than allowing him to lunge forwards and go across me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as he goes forwards, I'm going to go into him. So I'm going to go into him so that he doesn't get to do that. So he's not completing it. I'm not allowing him to complete that. Now, here's a really great statement or fact in dog training, and I think this is really key to know. There's a really great fact in dog training, and it is basically what you allow your dog to do, he will get stronger at, right? He will get better at. So what you rehearse, you become. And that's a great thing to remember. What you rehearse, you become. So if your dog rehearses doing this and getting across you, he will keep doing that because it is becoming pretty reinforcing for him and he's getting a result from it. So what he rehearses, he becomes. So I don't want to allow this. That's not what I want to allow. The other thing is I don't want him to be up there. That's not a space for him. I want him back here. So I need to make this my reinforcement zone. This is a space of reinforcement. And if he's not behaving appropriately, guess what? Let's walk backwards. Yeah, and if he's really not behaving appropriately, let's step in and let's go in the other direction. But what we don't want to do is we don't want him to continue going forward. Now that's a lot there on leash mechanics. Have you already learned something, or are you already feeling a little bit more empowered, a little bit more Lara Croft, like sticking your chest out and being super strong? You've got this with your reactive dog. Because if your reactive dog gets into a space that you've got no control of and you feel like you've got a fish on a lead, literally switching from side to side and flipping backwards, you're really already onto a losing battle. So I want you to, right from the second you get out on your walk, you to be first strong step forwards so your dog knows exactly where this walk's heading. And this walk's heading in a way that you've got this. And that's really important. So guys, if this already makes sense to you, if you're already feeling more empowered, if you're already feeling like your leash mechanics is something you can own and you can do, let me know in the comments because I want to hear a bit more from you. So let me grab my phone again. If you haven't already, guys, remember you've got all of these super cool bonuses to collect. So you've got all your super cool bonuses to collect. You've got the QR code right now that you can scan it. You've got absolutedogs.me /stop reactivity bonus. And you've also got typing in reactivity if you're in Facebook. So type in reactivity, type it in and we'll get you those notes. If you haven't already shared it, guys, share this live. And here, the game that we've got here, this was the early bird bonus and DMT, the other game. These are both fantastic games for reactive dogs. Now, we've got over 150 of you with us right now live in one space. There's other spaces too. So there's probably a good few hundred people here watching and learning together. It's a cool space to be. The more people that learn about this, the better it is. So if you haven't already, share it, share it, share it. Let me know you've shared it because I'm absolutely going to look to give you some prizes. Okay, great question. I'm going to come down and give some shares in a minute, so please tell me you've shared. So the question I've got is, my question is, if your dog got the chance to be in front of you and you need to pull the reins, do you pull the one on top of the harness or the one on top of the collar? I suppose I'd go with feeling, Anne, and I think it's a great question. So I would go with feeling. So if I need to, it depends on where I need the leverage, and I think it changes. So sometimes I think it's the top ring, and sometimes I think it's the bottom lead. I think I use that lead as a bit of a pressure release. So I like pressure release, pressure release, pressure release. And sometimes I do what we call on here A to B. So sometimes I do A to B. You've got the games card, play A to B. A to B is a fantastic game. Would you like me to show you guys? If you'd like me to show you A to B, let me know in the comments. Put A to B or A to B or A number 2B, and I'll play it if you guys really want me to. So I'll play it and show you. Okay, let me see who shared. So we have got shared. We have got shared. We have got shared. Who is sharing? Tell me if you're sharing, guys. Linda Mallon. I don't know who you are or where you are, Linda. Tell us a bit more about you. But you have win. You have wind. You have. I hope you haven't got wind. You have won. And you've won. And I'm really excited. I love that you guys are laughing at me. Thank goodness for that. you've won, and you've won. So make sure you touch base with the ASK team, or the ASK team will touch base with you. If you want to see A to B, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best. And I love that you're laughing that poor Linda, I said she had wind publicly. Sorry for that. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Here's a great one, actually. Lovely Tracy's asked me a really great question. So the really great question from Lovely Tracy is, what about if you're passing, and I'm talking like these guys, town dogs in a city centre or somewhere like small, close proximity spaces where dogs, I mean, we live out in the sticks, so our dogs have big fields to run in and lots of space, and they don't really get head up on like new dogs regularly with inappropriate behaviours, and I think that's really key. But if you are in town and you're walking your dog, or you're in a sort of smaller space or park or smaller walk, let's say there's another dog. In fact, I'm going to get Mini Jasper's double, and there's another dog this side. So Mini Jasper's there, and we've got our second Jasper over here, and they're going towards each other, and actually this Mini Jasper is now taking on that Mini Jasper. So what I would do first off, if I could, is I'd actually just switch his side. So I'd switch his side so he doesn't have to be head on head with that dog, and if I can, I'll put myself into body block almost, obviously being a bit aware of your body and new dogs and dogs you don't know, but ultimately most dogs pressure are aware. So if you put pressure into a dog, they don't really like the fact that there's something in their space, so they'll normally back off. And so for me, I'll put myself there. So never would I go head to head dog passing dog unless I really knew both dogs and I was practicing a huge distraction. That's inappropriate for me. So I would take the dog on that side of me, put him there, and give as much space as I feel able to put in there. So I'll give as much space. And let's say this dog is on leash, different again if they're off leash, because I think you've got to get even more space. But if they're on leash, you've already created a good 1.5 meters, maybe even 2 meters between these two dogs. And I think that's really, really relevant. So actually, let's not have them so close, and let's not have them in each other's space, because some dogs are proximity savvy and other dogs are not proximity savvy. I'm sure you've all got that friend who gets potentially a little bit too close, and I think it's really key to know if a dog does get too close what we're thinking here. Now, you've had some great questions. The questions have been fantastic, like really, really brilliant. Now, what I'd like you to do is I've got a little video to show you while I just switch up what we're going to do, because I'd like to do some live dog training with you. But before we go into live dog training with you, and I want to show you who'd like some live dog training, I'd also love to pick some shares. But first off, I think I'm going to head you to a little video so that you just get to see exactly what games-based learning really means. So let's head to the teaching. Okay, so this is Katie, and Katie certainly can be a very, very barky little dog, and she's certainly what people would know as or think of and recognise as a dog who could be reactive. But actually, I would say she's environmentally aware. She's 100% true to her breed, so she's definitely noticing and vigilant and quite quick to spot things. I think that's actually a quality in some dogs, and a quality that a lot of people would like. However, inappropriately, it's actually quite difficult, and it can be difficult to manage. So I want to show you that some of the games that we're talking about, they're being able to mirror you, they're being able to match you, they're being able to hang out with you in all spaces. You can see that she is absolutely ready to, at any point, be on your side. And I think this is really key to think about when we look at stop reactivity. A dog who really can work with you and in the space that you need them. I think this is really cool, and this is no different to the leash mechanics I was showing you a minute ago, but actually she can do it both on leash and off leash, and so she's able to match you on leash and off leash. Now, I've got a couple of really good questions while she plays along with this, because I know you guys love watching the dogs. So while she plays along with this, what I would love to do is answer a couple of questions. Tess said, how do you manage your own safety when putting yourself between a dog who may be reactive? I think number one, Tess, is you try and read the situation as much as you humanly can. But in addition to reading the situation, I also would say it's quite key and quite important that you don't ever put yourself too close that actually you are going to get in trouble. So ideally you create as much space as you humanly can when working with reactive dogs. You don't want to put yourself in between dogs close proximity. You're trying to create distance and space. So the whole goal of the game is that you create distance and space. The other thing to notice, guys, I ditched the bowl. If you ditch the bowl in the comments, please, please, please let me know. So I ditched the bowl, and this is Katie's dinner. So she's getting some of her dinner, and the way she's getting some of her dinner is to earn it effectively. So she's getting to earn that dinner for doing games. So I really like, with a reactive dog, like potentially Katie, I really like her to be earning her food. And I'm actually moving her out of the sit because she wants to SIT a lot. So I'm moving her out of the sit by keeping her moving, because then when we go into actually moving, she's got the ability to move. I've got the food here. She's like, I can smell it, but I've not got it. When I've got her in a movement, I can actually move her out of dodge. So yes, she can sidestep away from dogs. She can go forwards. She can meet or greet, or she can not meet or greet. But what you've got the ability to do when you have got food like that is you've got the ability to move her. So you can see she can move, and she can be on your leg and by your side. But I don't want the SIT if I can help it, because if she's in an SIT, then actually you struggle with the ability to have them forwards, backwards and side to side. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if it makes sense. So that's a great question. Those of you sharing, thank you for sharing. And let's have some hearts for Katie. Let's have some hearts. Okay, Laura Chambers, get it. Laura Chambers has said, I've been told that my dog is reacting because I'm the only person who looks after her, and I've been told she should go to daycare to socialise. I absolutely disagree, Laura. So I completely disagree. I don't think your dog should be going to daycare to socialise. And I think that you've been focusing on your attention with you instead of other dogs. Have I created a problem not letting her play? Get it? I think you're doing a great job. I think by the sounds of it, you're doing all the right things. Please, 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 please make sure you download the cool resources. I don't know if we can have the screen up quickly, Kate. Make sure you download them. These are really going to help you. These are absolutely what you need, and they're completely free. So they're completely free. You do not need to be taking your dog to daycare to socialise. I absolutely categorically think that's one of the worst things you can do with a dog who's nervous or unsure about other dogs, because it's so often out of control. So I'm going to say that and stick my neck out and say, get it? Really, really good job, you, and really absolutely not to take a dog like that to daycare. Okay, so some great comments, some great shares. Guys, I'm looking for 3 shares. And in fact, Laura, you're going to win straight away. So you're going to be one of my winners for popping up such a vulnerable question. Like, really cool. Okay, our next game. So she's already playing it. I'd like to ask you the question, can your dog catch? Katie's having a drink. She's at the bar. We'll get her back in a second. But can your dog catch? Yes or no game, guys? Yes or no? Can your dog catch? Because if you watch Katie, she absolutely attempts and sometimes catches. She doesn't catch every time. And I don't mind that she doesn't catch every time. What I want to see, and you can make it easier for your dog from often going ahead of them. So if you go ahead of them, and you can make it harder for the dog by going to the side of them, and depending on how good your timing is and throwing is. For me, I want to know, can your dog catch? Because I find catch and kind of find the treat quite a good game for a dog. And I find for a little dog who could potentially be reactive, a dog like Katie here, and I'm going to switch you to the other side as well, because actually it's good to do both sides. I'm really terrible at this side. She's often better at this side. And it doesn't matter whether she catches or not. What I want to see is a dog who attempts to catch. Do you see that's part of the game? The attempt to catch is a big part of the game. So the attempt to catch, Kate, is a massive part of the game. That's really, really key. So can your dog, guys, catch? Yes or no? Yes or no? Get it, get it, get it. J.M. Wilkins says yes, they can. Chloe says yes. What's the best way to do this with ditch the bowl on raw food? Tried a pyramid pan, but it just burned horrendously. I don't know if someone's got Michelle's ebook. The ebook's amazing. These are raw treats effectively, but just lightly cooked. So those are raw treats that are just lightly cooked. You can just see them on my hand there, and Katie can definitely see them on my hand there. I'm going to spin her around, put her back there, and you can see they're a really nice size and shape. So those are fantastic, Chloe, and I use a lot of those when I'm doing catching. And if your dog can't catch, one of my favourite things to do is actually throw something like wafer thin ham or wafer thin chicken, which is probably not chicken at all, but throw something like that at first and let them catch something that's really quite big and quite sort of easy to catch. But you can see there, when you're watching that one, I'm not going to let her do it in an SIT. I'm going to try and make her do it in a stand. You can see here, do you see the catching there? That really is, I'm watching her on the mirror, but that really is what you're looking for, that you can drop and catch. So that is your game. And I know that you're thinking, well, how does that help with stop reactivity? Well, where is her focus, guys? Where's her focus right now? And even if, get it, even if there's another dog in the distance, or something going on, what we can be working on, whether that's close proximity or whether that's switching around and giving her a bit of space, is we've got games. We've got games. Like, this is impactful. This is empowering. We've got games that enable dogs like Katie to deal with distractions because she has got games like Magic Hand. Does that make sense? Now, catching, and I'm playing a game like this game is called Magic Hand, where she's under the hand. Catching is a prerequisite for a lot of cool games when it comes to reactivity. So catching really, 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 really helps. So it makes a massive difference. And so if you can teach this, guys, it's going to leave you more empowered with your potentially reactive dog. So it's really going to help. Guys, can you see how this might help? Oh my goodness, there are so many comments. I need to come back down to them. So literally, can you see that it can help? Can everyone see this can help? So catching, really good game for a potentially reactive dog, because they have a job, and they'll have a job to stay kind of with you and under your hand. And that for me all starts in front, good, in front and like that. And then later on, I'll bring that side to side. Ideally, I don't want it in an SIT because then I can move her out of it. So you can see how I can move, so I can then avoid dogs like Mini Jasper here, because I've got her here and I can go, no, you're here. But actually, if she's in an SIT, then I haven't got so much ability to do that. So when she's there, you can see that is going to help me, and that is going to help me, and that's all going to help when I'm in the stand. So I don't really want her in an SIT. Does that make sense, guys? And can you see how powerful this is? Who would like this with their dog? Let me know in the comments if you'd like this with your dog, because this is powerful stuff. Who's feeling the power of this, guys? This is a magic game. I mean, look at the distraction level you've got here. Like, she really doesn't notice there is anything other than the treat and the catching. So catching being a cool game, something that you can play straight away. Now, Lisa's asked a question. So Lisa's question is, what are the best treats you can use? You know what, I'd say more than the treat, the most important thing is you have the right games. I want you to have the right games. You really need the right games. And the way you get the best games is playing games in Games Club. So I've got a little video for you. I want you to listen to the video. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna come back in a second to something pretty cool that I think you're gonna love. Don't know what you're up to, you're looking for treats. She's off hunting. And so I think you're gonna love this next game that we're going to be looking at. So far, we've already done leash mechanics and treat delivery and catch. So looking at catch as a treat delivery, and a treat delivery for reactive dogs, being able to have them and hold them with you and right underneath you as you need them. A little video here for you to head to before we come back to our next game. Share, 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 and share a bit more. And as soon as you come back, I'm going to give away as many prizes as I humanly can. Get sharing. Now, one thing I have not told you, that my team are nagging me, pushing me, like, Lauren, seriously, go tell them stuff. Katie's on Calm K9, and Katie's been on Calm K9 for a little while. Why? Because, you know, it helps her brain function, it helps her gut function, and ultimately it's part of my 3-prong attack to really help her training and focus, because it's something she seriously lacked. You seriously lacked. You can look at these, guys. This is one of her poses, one of her favorite poses. You do photo poses, yes you do. And she's on Calm K9. So because you're here and because you're part of this, because we want to share it with you, one of the things that Katie takes, Calm K9, she takes it in her daily food, and you can get 20% off site-wide. We've got a huge range of supplements over our sister company, AOK9. 20% off site-wide. You can use the code Reactivity at the checkout, and that code Reactivity at the checkout will give you 20% off, and it will give you 20% off your whole order. Now, please note that's one order. So if you go back to order another lot, it won't let you order it and use the 20% off. So do go and make the most of it and get it all in one order. So that's the Reactivity code. It's 20% off. It's AOK9, our sister company. Amazing space for you to get all of your doggy goodies, and super AOK9 Calm. Calm K9 really makes a difference. Now, without further ado, I told you there was something you guys could do that would really, really help your relationship. So I'm going to say that tricks have also been a massive part just helping Katie actually, and this is one of her tricks. So one of her tricks is that one, and she's got so many little tricks. This is an anchor trick. So it's an anchor trick in the sense that I want her to be able to hang out close, and I want to be able to ground her and know where she is. That one might not be appropriate to you. You might have something else that you want to work on. We might do middle. So we could definitely do middle's another nice trick. We can walk forwards in middle, we can walk backwards in middle, we can pivot in middle, and we can really side to side in middle. We can go this way, we can go that way, we can move fast back, we can move fast forward. Katie's got some other really cool tricks. Nice, good girl. Ready? Nice, good girl. You can go that way. Good girl. You can go that way. I know. You can do 3, 2, 1. Yeah, she said go that way. So Katie's got some really cool tricks and some really nice little tricks that can help her hugely when it comes to, you coughing on that treat, when it comes to actually thinking about reactivity. Now, why do tricks help when you've got a dog who's potentially reactive? Because spin, good girl, twist. She says, no, not twist, I want to spin, good girl, twist, good girl, twist, good girl, spin, good girl. So tricks really help a little dog like Katie, but why do they help? What makes them work and what brings the magic? So what really brings the magic to a dog like Katie is actually the fact that it's relationship building. And if you love tricks, tell us in the comments. So let us know you love tricks in the comments. And if you have a favorite trick, tell me in the comments your favorite trick. From literally simple things like, and Katie has so many, so simple things like paws up, so doing paws up, to simple things like middles, and like you saw with spin, good, twist, twist, spin, I think you're getting it broken, spin, good girl, twist, spin, twist, good girl, middle. Those really help to build relationship. Those really help to build engagement. Those really help to build communication between you and your dog. So for me, having that ability to communicate with Katie makes such a big difference. Can we go for a fun one? Get it? Liza does this way better than me. Yay, good girl, middle. Super dog, one more of those. Ready, get that. So I'm gonna throw her out. She's going to come in. She said, I can't find my treat because I've just put it under. Good girl, super dog. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay, good dog. And I love things like that. Whee! Because what I really love is that you can see how much engagement she's having. You can see how much fun she's having. And those might not be the right tricks for you. I don't know if we can have the tricks book up maybe very quickly for everyone to see. We've got a huge range of different tricks and different games that you can play, and they will suit you or your dog. Yeah, all of them in there. There will be something for you. There will be something you like in that tricks book. So if you haven't already, there's a trick for that. It's a cool book. Scan the QR code. It's definitely something that can really, really help with so many reactive dogs. So another little tip for you, play some tricks. I've got another cool tip I'm going to show everybody actually. Kate, come. So one of my favourite ones with her, and it just reminded me looking at the screen, I think this is a really nice trick. So it's effectively a bit of a chin target. So when she's here, I'm asking her to chin target, but when she's here and she's chin targeting, let me show you by putting another dog in the mix. When she's chin targeting, I've got my little dog here. When she's chin targeting, she said I'm hunting right now for the treat I've lost down the side of the carpet. When she's here and she's chin targeting, she hasn't got time or really visibility even to look at that dog over there, because she's too busy here. Get it? And I think that's really key to acknowledge that when your dog, super dog, when your dog is busy doing something like this, you're able, nice, you're really, get it? You're really able to have their focus completely and utterly to yourself. She says, I'm currently going out and hunting where she threw my treat. You're great at problem solving, Kate. She's a brilliant problem solver. Off she goes. She's going to find it. I'm sure you'd be a great ratter, actually. You'd be as good as this terrier at ratting. Kate, good girl. So she's here. That's such a nice way to build, and that's a chin target. So guys, if you haven't seen this already or seen this before, that's a chin target. Katie is 100% better around other dogs, around other people, to the point that she went to a dog show the other day and completely and utterly nailed it. Like, she was just so cool, so up for it, so game. Tricks really helped. Games like Magic Hand, where she can walk past another dog. So games like Magic Hand, where she can walk past another dog. Games like Spin, Twist. Yeah, I know, you think spin and twist are the same today. Spin, good girl, twist, She says, no, I don't remember what twist might mean. Good girl. And I think those games really, really do resonate with the dog because you're having a lot of fun whilst you're doing it. You're relationship building, you're communicating, and you're building up that rapport with your dog. So it's a really nice space to be. So let me know in the comments what tricks you play. Let me know in the comments what tricks you'd like to do, and maybe you'd like to do some of the new tricks. Now you've seen some of these from KD, or maybe you've seen some of these from our tricks book, or maybe you've already been working on some of these. Just a quick note, I just thought about it then, and I think this is cool because I get to show you some hacks and some tips and tricks as well. Never go up and expect dogs to greet head to head for long. If a dog greets head to head, that's often, the longer they stay in that space, it's just not a cool space for a dog to be. You don't want them being there. So if your dog is ever head to head with a dog, try and break it off as quickly as you can. Sniffing a dog's backside or another dog's bottom, yeah, knocking him over is cool too. So sniffing a dog's bottom is actually way more appropriate. And so when you've got that sort of head to head interaction, quite quickly trying to get them to disengage and go to the bottom, that's really what you're looking to do. And so if you do see head to head, I just spotted it when I was here doing my chin target. So I was here doing my chin target and I realized that that's the position we were in. And I'm not saying she thinks that's a dog, she doesn't, but it just gave me a reminder that that's not a greeting you often want your dog doing, or at least not doing for too long. So talking back about tricks really are, I suppose, the basis of the brain and understanding how you're connecting, how you're communicating. There's another cool learning video for you here. I'd love to share it with you. It's a really cool video. It's a really well worth it video for you to watch. I've got some more demos for you in a minute. I've got some more dog training for you in a minute. Don't go anywhere. And if you haven't already shared, share away, because I really do want to give away more prizes. So let's head to the teaching. You're going to learn a little bit more.
Well, he's never done that before. Have you ever caught yourself saying that as your dog does something unexpected and completely out of character? Or perhaps you find that your dog's behaviour gets worse as they near the end of a walk, or after a particularly exciting or stressful event. Have you ever wondered why? Welcome to the brain and the bucket, understanding your dog's emotions. Every dog has a brain with unique strengths and weaknesses determined by the building blocks that we call concepts. These include calmness, focus, disengagement, optimism, and self-control. Concepts determine your dog's skills and personality, influencing their behaviour and their choices. Perhaps your dog barks or pulls on the lead or chases a jogger maybe down the street or a cyclist. You know, it's absolutely common, but this is often because they don't currently have the skills to handle that situation more appropriately. Just like humans, dogs also have their stress thresholds. Imagine this like a bucket. Your dog's bucket might be big or could be small. The hole in the bottom of the bucket, which allows it to empty, might be big or small too. This bucket represents your dog's capacity to deal with the events of each and every day. Many things pay into your dog's bucket. In fact, every experience, whether it's a positive one or a negative one, scary, stressful, or seriously exciting one, they all add to your dog's bucket. Some dogs have very big buckets, which will fill slowly and empty very, very quickly. That sounds good, right? Other dogs, though, they find life pretty exciting, overwhelming, or even stressful. These dogs tend to have smaller buckets that fill really fast and, you named it, yeah, they empty slowly. Pain, itching and tummy troubles, to name just a few, can also fill your dog's bucket. So dogs who do have painful joints, allergies or sensitive digestion will often have pretty full buckets. As your dog's bucket fills, you'll often find their choices and behaviour get worse. Let's say you've been struggling with your dog pulling on lead. Well, it's likely as their bucket fills, that pulling is going to get worse. If you've got a dog who barks, they're going to potentially bark more as their bucket fills, or they're going to find it even harder to relax, or possibly both. If the bucket fills faster than it can empty, it's going to overflow. When your dog's bucket overflows, you're going to see that in their behaviour too, sadly. They could start jumping up, nipping, biting even, or chewing your cushions, or zoomies around your living room, or, humping your leg. The signs that their bucket is overflowing may be more subtle. You might notice your dog is sniffing the ground or hiding away. Very often, this isn't just because of what's happening in that moment, but because of all of the things that have come before. The great news is that you have control over so much of what's going on. You literally do have control over a lot of the things that fill your dog's bucket by thinking about their lifestyle and situations that you put them in. That might be the places you go or the number of exciting activities your dog does each and every day. If you think a situation isn't maybe quite right for your dog, it is absolutely okay to say no. That makes you a brilliant owner and advocate for your dog. It's important to make sure your dog gets plenty of time to chill out and let that bucket empty right down, literally down to zero, especially after exciting or worrying events. In fact, it can take a turnaround of 72 plus hours for your dog's bucket to completely empty when it's full, and that's if nothing else is refilling it in the meantime. You can also change the size of your dog's bucket and the size of the hole by playing simple, fun, effective games, those that we're playing here together, that target concepts like calmness, optimism, thinking and arousal, all of those really important building blocks that your dog's brain needs. As you strengthen those concepts, you make your dog's bucket bigger and stretch the threshold so your dog can really handle more before they reach the point of overwhelm where, their behaviour is going to deteriorate. And you can do all of that without putting your dog in difficult situations that they might find challenging. By being aware of your dog's bucket, mindful of the situation that you put them in, and more intentional about growing those building blocks in their brain, you can set your dog up for the very best success and empower them with the skills they need to handle life with so much more confidence, making only the very best choices. Are you ready to be the master of your dog's brain and bucket? For more innovative dog training tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe. Share your bucket overflow experiences and let's inspire more owners to be aware of their dog's stress threshold and keep those buckets nice and empty.
Welcome back. It's cool to have you here. If you haven't already shared, please make sure you share. I am going to give away 3 prizes in just a second. So if you haven't already shared, make sure you share. Now, there was a great comment and it said, I asked someone politely to give my dog some space recently. I was so angry they didn't. Here's one thing we need to know when it comes to reactive dogs. If you're angry, often that's reciprocated. And so please try really hard to control your emotional state, because that's going to help your dog in their emotional space. So your dog really needs to know that you've got this. You've got this. They don't need to get this because you've got this. So your dog understands that actually you're completely in control of the situation. So they do not need to try and control the situation. You have got it and you're in control of the situation. Does that make sense? Because I think that's really important for dogs like Mini Jasper here. Now, whilst Katie's gone for a break, you know what, that's a lot of work to do in a short space of time. I think it's really important we acknowledge there are lots of questions here. Now, before we go to any questions, like I said, I want the shares. So I definitely want to go through those shares with you. And we've got the wonderful, oh my God, there's so many shares. There's so many shares. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Miranda says, if another dog is off lead and charges up, what's the best thing to do? Whatever you can do, Miranda, to create space and to put yourself between you and the dog often, that can really help. So that can really be useful. That's one of the things I'll do. A second thing that I'll do, if I've got food on me, I will throw food at the other dog. And the reason I'll throw food at the other dog is I'm trying to create space. People say things like, what if he's got allergies or what if he's got intolerances? It's probably the least of my worries when I'm trying to get my dog out of dodge. And if someone hasn't got control over their dog, that really is something they need to get a handle on so that I can help look after my dog. So if you need to create space and you need to throw some food, I would throw some food. I think that's absolutely acceptable to do in the situation when you think, well, what's probably more appropriate here? My dog trying to eat this dog or this dog trying to eat some food that I can create space with. Also, make sure you have got this. There's a game called A to B. It's the game that's one of your show up bonuses and your pre-event bonuses. If you haven't already got it, I hope you have. Make sure you get hold of the bonuses. They're really cool materials. Okay, what else have we got for you? Okay, I've got this or that game. I want you to play along with me. Do you know how to play this or that? I'm going to give you a scenario and I want you to give me this or that. So the example would be, do you like fish or chips? And you're going to say fish or chips. So I get to know, but we're going to play it with reactive dogs. So I want to hear a bit more about reactive dogs. Now, like I said, before we do it, I am going to go to some shares. Okay, so Angela Breyer Stevenson, you win a prize. You win either a month of Games Club, so a free month of Games Club, or we're going to give you a voucher to be able to spend if you're already a Games Clubber. If you're a Games Clubber, put Games Club in the comments. I want to know who you are. Okay, so we've got lots of people sharing. Keep sharing because I'm looking for 3 people to win. So we've got this or that. So we're going to go this or that. When your dog reacts, is it typically excited or is it typically fearful? Put excited or fearful in the comments. I want to hear, guys. So excited or fearful, tell me in the comments. Excited or fearful. When your dog reacts, are they typically excited or fearful? Go, 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 and go. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. Go and tell me. I want to know a bit more. And if you shared, guys, let me know in the shares. So let me know in the shares if you've shared. I really want to know if you shared. So are they excited or fearful? Excited or fearful? Well done, you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay, so we've got a lot of fearful dogs and we've got a lot of excited dogs. We've actually got a good mixture of both. So excited or fearful, we've got a good mixture of both. Okay, our next one, guys. Does your dog react more to, remember it's a this or that. So does your dog react more to sounds or movement? Does your dog react to sounds or movement? I would like to know in the comments, guys. Is your dog more bothered by sounds or movement? And I would say Katie could be bothered by both. So is it sound or movement? This or that, this or that, this or that, this or that. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. Well done, neat. Good stuff. Share to win the prizes. Okay, our next this or that, guys, I really want you to tell me because it lets us learn a little bit more about your dog and it lets us help to coach you and your dog. So tell me a little bit more. So we're going to go, is your dog's reactivity worse at home or out and about? So outside. Is it worse at home or outside? So tell me a bit more, guys. This or that. Is your dog worse at home or outside? Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. And if you shared, you can tell me that too. Okay, we've got a good mixture again. So we've got a really good mixture. Lovely to see you guys here. So many of our cool students here, so many of our Games Clubbers. If you're a Games Clubber, let us know. Okay, another one, guys, this or that. So it's this or that. What triggers your dog more? Other dogs or cats? Other dogs or, no, it's not cats. I've got other dogs or cars, but I've got other dogs or people or other question mark on our screen. So I'm going to go with what triggers your dog more, other dogs, or you can write anything else. You can write anything else. We've got a slight discrepancy between our team and what the computer says, so we're going to work with it. So what triggers your dog more, other dogs or people or other, you tell us what else it might be. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, let me know, let me know. I want to know. I want to know. I love it. Karen says both, all of the above, all of the above. Okay, our final this or that, guys. When managing reactivity, do you find it easier to redirect your dog onto something else or avoid the trigger completely? So do you find it easier to redirect your dog on something else or avoid the trigger completely? Let us know in the comments, guys. I'd really, really like to know. So that is all really helpful. Okay, I'm popping my dog down. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But I do have a few questions for you. So I do have a few questions to you. And these are questions from our students. So these are questions from you. You've either put them in YouTube. Some of you have put them in when you've been sharing. Some of you have emailed our Ask team. Our team are on it and we've got some of your questions. So the questions I am going to take, oh my God, there's so many. How can I make training more enjoyable for both me and my dog? We both get so frustrated. Now, I've been there. I had a very reactive dog. Her name was Poppy. She was very naughty but nice. She was not an easy dog to live with or work with. She was very, very, very chase driven. She was very, very just problematic generally. Tell me what your dog's problem is actually. Why are you here? What reactivity do you struggle with? So Poppy was reactive to movement. She was reactive to dogs. She was reactive to anything that was moving fast. And she was very reactive to dogs on lead and off lead. So those were her biggest troubles. And so for me, how did I improve it? You know what? I tried to make it more games-based. So her learning became more and more games-based, tricks-based, motivational, positive reinforcement. So rather than yelling at her, shouting at her, telling her that she was doing all the things wrong, I actually built in a schedule of reinforcement. So I told her what she was doing right and I tried to catch her doing the right things. We played a lot of different games. This is way before Games Club. This is way before Absolute Dogs. We played a lot of games and a lot of those games have actually come into Games Club and are now part of Games Club. Things like instant downs and things like switching toys and things like race to dead toy and things like walking loosely on a lead. Those are all things that Poppy could play and those really help to make training way more fun. And actually, when you're shouting at your dog, it doesn't really feel fun for you either. And so I think that for me, it's a really lovely way to communicate with your dog, but in a completely different way. Now, I've got a video for you in a second. And it's a video from our brand new Stop Reactivity course. Yes, there is a brand new Stop Reactivity course. Those of you that are Games Club, it is released into Games Club. So it's released into Games Club. You don't have to pay any more for it. You've already got it. Those of you that have won Games Club, you're going to get to see it. It's brand new. It's a Stop Reactivity course. It's some of the games that we play. And the game that we've got, DMT, Distract, Mark, Treat, is a really cool game that Games Clubbers all over are going to be playing and do play, and I'd like you to hear a little bit about it too. When you come back in a second, so you are going to come back in a second, when you come back in a second, I've got more questions for you, but I'd like you to see this little bit of teaching from our brand new Stop Reactivity course first. It's DMT. What on earth do I mean? Well, number one, DMT is distraction, mark, treat. So I don't know, someone knocks at the door. I'm going to feed them and I'm going to treat them. And my mark is actually just even going to my food pouch. And you can notice I've got my food pouch. And I think that brings us on to a really important discussion. And yes, you can get any of these from the Absolute Dog Store, but that isn't the important discussion. The important discussion is my dogs earn all of their food, and that gives me so many opportunities across the day to be able to feed them for any of the struggles that we might be having, whether that be barking at the neighbourhood, whether that be chasing the chickens, whether that be looking out for the sheep, whether that be, I don't know, barking at the neighbours or running along the fence. I've ditched the bowl, and so my dog's food hangs out with me on a daily basis, whether it's in a treat pouch, a squeezy tube, or all the different things. And don't worry, we've got a resource for you that's going to cover loads of this, whether you feed raw, whether you feed kibble, whether you feed meat, you know what, you name it, we have got you covered in our resource, and that's coming in a minute. But it's really important that we consider what we feed and how we feed. My dogs also have Calm K9 added to their food if I've got any struggles with them. So if we're having any reactivity or any naughty but nice behaviours or anything that I'm concerned about, I will be using Calm to balance their brain and their gut health to get real life training success. It's not a sedative, it's absolutely a support. It's aid for them to be in the right headspace to go out and about in the world. Now, the important thing is, and I think this is really important, that we acknowledge DMT is something you're going to do all the time. So it might be that you open the fridge and it makes a loud noise. You might just say nice and feed your dogs. It's a distraction, mark them and treat them. A distraction, mark them and treat them. And you're going to find opportunities to do this all day long. You might be out on a walk and it'll be nice and drop a piece of food. You might be, I don't know, in your garden and you hear the neighbour come out, nice, and you drop some food. If for any reason your dog starts barking and going crazy, you can still drop the food. You're not rewarding them for barking. They're already in that space. All you're trying to do at that space is trying to distract them. And distraction, mark, treat works all over. It's a really key game and it's key for stopping reactivity. Any little distractions, any little movements, someone walks past the window, we're going to say nice and we're going to feed our dogs. What we most of all want to see is that our dogs start to see low-level distractions as really not that interesting out there and more interesting to us. And actually you're going to see reactivity decrease when you DMT. So basically two key things today for you to take away. One, we're ditching the bowl. There's resources here for you. It's day one. There's resources on ditch the bowl. Two, we're going to talk DMT. Distraction happens, mark your dogs and treat them. And it's with their ditch the bowl. So you don't have to worry about them getting fat and you don't have to worry about them maybe having too much because you've ditched the bowl. This is their bowl. Now, some of you might be saying, but my dog doesn't eat, but my dog doesn't do this, but my dog doesn't do that. Don't panic. We've got you covered. Please look at the resources. The resources are mega and we have trained people like you before with dogs like yours before. So do not panic. We've got it covered. Tens of thousands of people have been through our training programs now and we know they work.
My name is Sarah. I have a 4-year-old Cavapoo named Buddy. I really did not like my dog, and I'm sure he did not like me either. He was very much a stay-away dog. He was very frustrating to work with. Walks were a nightmare, and Absolute Dogs then came into our lives, and the Games in Games Club changed everything. He now wants to be with me. It's been a true relationship builder. He is my best friend, and he comes everywhere with me.
We have a young Jack Russell who's actually now 3 years old, but for the first 2 years of her life she was an absolute nightmare. There was no sleeping at night, there was no peace and quiet, there was constant whining, barking horrendously, and she just couldn't be away from us. I found Absolute Dogs through the Sexy and the Squirrel Challenge, and in doing that and starting to play the games I realised that they work. And there's a huge change in her. We've now not only done the Sexy and the Squirrel, but we're with the Games Club, and the games do work. There's a huge difference in her. She engages with us now. She will play, she will sit alone, she will sleep alone. She does not need to be hanging onto me by a thread, and life is much more fun.
So the cool thing about DMT, distract, mark and treat. The cool thing when you're playing that game, you've got your show up bonus. So if you haven't already collected your show up bonus, you get that for free. I don't know if we can have that on the screen. There it is, just like that. You guys have the show up bonus, and the show up bonus is going to go through you step by step so that you get to teach this at home. If you haven't shared it, share it now. Other people get to do this too. That's going to help you and your dog when you're out and about. Now, I think it's really important that we acknowledge that there's a lot of learning here in the sense that let's just catch up. So leash mechanics, we've run through leash mechanics and how you use your leash is really impactful. If you've already learned something, let us know in the comments, let us know what you've learned. Leash mechanics are important. I've seen a good friend of mine, he's on the live, his name's Kev. He has got a little dog that would like you to be literally everywhere with them. By you saying this is where you're walking or that's where you're walking, and no, this isn't your space, that's important learning. This is not your space. This is your space. This is where I want you. I think dogs really like it when you're intentional, and dogs like it when you're very clear with them. This is what I expect of you. So that is really impactful. That's game one. Game two is catch and treat deliveries. You're catching your treat delivery. I showed you a game that I call Magic Hands, but actually it starts with catching. When you're doing catch work, you are learning and you're teaching your dog very quickly to pay attention and to focus. You snooze, you lose. So that is game two, it's catching. Game three, or games three, let's hit the tricks book. So we're hitting the tricks book. The tricks book's a really great space to be. If you haven't already got hold of your tricks book, the tricks book is something that is really, really, really cool for you to dive in at. It's absolutedogs.me/get-tricky. There's cool packages there. There's cool different games that you can get hold of. And it's a really cool book. It's over 1 kilo. It's a mega book. There is so much in it. It's wire bound, step by step, stage by stage, mega book. So I love that one. for you and for your dog. Our fourth game, DMT, it's on your games card. The games card, let me just grab it very quickly. The games card that you got as part of your show up bonus. So remember, for being here, and if you've done that, you've clicked on your QR code and you've made sure that everyone else knows you're here, you've got your DMT game. We go through the stages, your dog in front of you, saying your calm marker word. We talk about your treat delivery. We talk about how you repeat your steps, you add your distractions, and the aim of the game and what you're looking for. And it really helps to boost confidence, optimism, and calm. So much there for you. And then we've got your tracker. So your tracker where you get to keep a track on what you're doing with your dog each and every day. That one's mega, and they're all in your bonuses. So please get hold of your bonuses, get hold of them while they're there. They are not going to last there for long. And then in addition to that, guys, make sure you've shared. If you haven't shared already, we've got step-by-steps of how you share. Make sure you share. I've got some prizes for you in a second. So DMT, mega cool space to be. Something that's really impactful and something that I'd love all of you to go away and play. Distraction, mark, treat. Now a couple more this or that's for me. So you're going to pick one or the other. And we're going to talk about your dog's reactivity. And I think that it's really important that we acknowledge where our dogs are on their reactivity journey. I've owned a reactive dog. My reactive dog, her name was Poppy, and she was certainly a challenge, and she threw me a lot of challenges. Tell me your reactive dog's name. I'd like to know your reactive dog's name and maybe what the challenge is. But the this or that I'm going to give you is, do you feel that your dog's reactivity is more influenced by frustration, fear, or excitement? Do you feel that your dog's reactivity is more influenced by frustration, fear, or excitement? Let me know. And I love what Laura Griffith says here. Thank you so much for this free teaching. Amazing. And if you want to tag someone else in, if you want to tag anyone else in, please do. I love hearing your reactive dog's name. We've got a Milo, we've got a Chalky, we've got a Calypso. I love that name. We've got little Bob. We've got loads of different, like Rachel. We have a Rachel. This is just gorgeous. And Claire Rizzo is sharing. Come on, guys, you can all share. Everybody can share. Everybody can share. And I'm definitely going to be giving away some more prizes. Okay, so I love hearing that. So lots of you excitement and fear, lots of excitement. There is a lot of excitement going on here. So yeah, good to know, really good to know. Okay, our next this or that. So our next this or that is going to be, are you ready for a solution that will help transform your dog's behavior? Ready or not ready? Ready or not ready? Ready or not? I could sing the Fugees to you, but I think that would be inappropriate. So I'm not going to sing for you because you might just all leave. So I'd rather you didn't. But are you ready? Or are you not ready? I want to know. Are you ready or are you not ready? So guys, this is a mega space to be. I've got another game for you, and it's really important we do play our next game. So I want to know if you're ready or if you're not ready. Are you ready or you're not ready? So our next game is the game that we have got here. It is part of your pre-registered bonus. So if you pre-register this event, if you were here at this event or you pre-registered to be at this event, this is something you will have received. It's A to B, and we talk through all of the stages here. And I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to show you with the little dog on a lead so that I can talk it through with you and I can show you at the same time without having to worry too much about the dog training. So actually, I don't need to worry about talking to the dog because the dog is a stuffed dog, and that's actually sometimes entirely appropriate because what it means is I can teach you and I don't have to worry about him for a second. I kind of think it's kinder to the dog. So I've got my little stuffed dog here. His name's MJ. Please tell me your reactive dog's name. I loved hearing, my favorite name so far was Calypso. I thought Calypso, I'd love to meet Calypso. Tell me what breed your reactive dog is too. So A to B, I'm going to run remember we've got a double lead. So ideally we've got a double lead. We've got a collar and we've got a harness, or 2 points of contact at least. So we've got 2 points of contact at least. I'm going to run my hand down the lead, and I'm either going to take the dog away from me or I'm going to take the dog towards me, possibly depending on where the other dog is or whatever my distraction is. So let me put my other distraction is. So here, am I going to turn, please in the comments guys, can you all comment? So am I going to turn towards me? So am I going to bring the dog towards me? Or am I going to here turn the dog away from me? Let me know in the comments, guys. It's another this or that. Towards me or away from me? I've got a head on head, dog dog situation? Let me know. I'm going to go and grab my phone, but I'm not going to let go of my lead because I know this is a pretty tricksy situation here that I've got going on. So pretty tricksy situation. Let's head back to the dogs. I want to head back to the dogs so we can see what the dogs are doing here. I want to go, do we go towards or do we go away? Do we go towards or do we go away? Am I going to go this way? So am I going to take the dog away or am I going to take the dog towards? Yeah, which one am I doing, guys? Towards or away? Towards or away? There's definitely a lag because some of you are still just ready. So some of you are still just ready. I'm going to say that I'm always in this situation going to take my dog away. If there's a chance that my dog's going to redirect and come near my leg here, I'm just going to hold the lead off me a little. So I'm just going to hold that lead off me, and I think that's quite impactful. So I don't want the dog there. I want the dog there. And I'm just going to take the dog away from that situation. Now, when you're doing A to B, the other thing you've got, I'm just going to put my phone down with your comments on it. The other thing you've got is you're going to run your hand down the lead and you're going to take the dog away. Because when you come down to here, that gives you a heck of a lot of leverage. And sometimes it's the same as handling a horse. When you're handling a horse, you don't want to be at the end of the lead. You don't want to be here. This is not a good place to be. This is like wet fish territory. This is where they're like flying around and being like crazy flipping fish. You don't want a crazy flipping fish. You might go down to the lead and you might take the dog's collar away. So you actually say, this is not the space for you. That is the space for you. So he's here. I'm going to run the hand down the lead. I'm going to take him away. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if it makes sense. Let me know if it makes sense. Hand down the lead, turn the dog away. Does that make sense? So A to B, hand down the lead, turn the dog away. Okay, my dog is now moved and my dog's over here. I am here. Am I now going to take the dog away from me or towards me? Does the dog now go away from me? So does the dog go away or does the dog go towards? Let me know. Am I going away or am I going towards? Let me see what you guys have got in the comments. So I'd like to see what you guys have got in the comments. Is the dog going away or towards me? Let me know, guys, because this is really, again, very, very impactful learning. So really impactful learning as to what I'm looking for the dog, because they're both very different things. If I turn my dog away there, I'm very likely to get a dog-dog aggressive moment, because that is really quite confrontational to a dog. Dogs don't greet like we do. There's no hugging and there's no kissing. You don't want hugging and kissing with dogs. That's kind of inappropriate greeting. You're not looking for that kind of greeting. So yes, when I'm standing like this, I'm not going to turn the dog into the dog. I'm going to turn the dog literally towards me. So the dog comes back towards me. And if I've got a chance of doing that and turning the dog that way as well, I will. But ultimately, if the dog's in that situation and the dog's here, I'm going to take my dog as quickly as I can there. Or even if they're a little bit further behind, I can back them up that way. But what I won't do is turn them head on head. Does that make sense, guys? Petra says it makes total sense. This is great. So this is fantastic. It makes total sense. This is good. I really like this. Makes total sense. Okay. I'm going to head back to the main camera, and what I'd like to know is, do you have any questions so far? So I know that there's lots of questions. I've got a question sheet somewhere that I'll grab in a minute. Do you have any questions? Because I think it's really important that we acknowledge any questions that you have. So Elaine says, my dog will lunge here, not in anger, but still lunge if we bump into a dog. All is fine. I think, Elaine, if you can put the dog in a situation where they don't need to lunge, because sometimes when one dog lunges at another dog, then the other dog kicks off, and then they teach your dog to respond in that way. So sometimes it ends up a bit punchy anyway, so that we can avoid really those punchy situations, or those, I suppose they're volatile situations. So we can avoid the volatile situations. Let's teach our dogs alternative behaviours. A to B, DMT, tricks, catch, magic hand, all of those fun things that we play in Games Club, they are all for you. Now, talking of Games Club and talking about Stop Reactivity, we've got a brand new Stop Reactivity course. It's a course that literally brand new content, in the sense that we've just put this really together to help so many reactive dogs all over the world. Now, there's a special opportunity for you today. The code is Reactivity, and it's just £7 for the first month. So £7 for the first month. And the cool thing is that you get a chance to see all of what we do at Games Club. You get to see all of what we get to play and what we get to play with in terms of dog training. And you get to experience that for just £7 for the first month. So just £7. It's our amazing space that literally is a library of insane content, like so much content there that you guys you'll never ever exhaust the dog training. There's always a game for that. There's always going to be an opportunity. Now, like we said, the code code is Reactivity. It's £7 for the first month. And if you'd like to, there's also an opportunity to get a bumper pack too. The contents of the bumper pack may vary. They may vary because it depends on when you hit it as to what we have available, because we have basically while stocks last. But it's a really cool opportunity that you get to have all of the contents of what is on the screen here, literally total savings of over £240. For today, it's just 55. So for today, it is just £55. You get a physical long line sent to you. You get a physical calm mat sent to you. You get a physical calm canine sent to you. You get a physical book sent to you. And you get our Stop Reactivity course and our core learning included. So all of that included for just £55. Just £55, all of the physical goodies and a clicker and a lanyard. So you're going to get a clicker and a lanyard too. And a puppy line. There's a puppy line as well. So puppy line, calm mat, calm canine, naughty but nice book, physical book, Stop Reactivity, online course, core learning, and the Biothane long line. So you've got lots of options here. You get to choose. You get to choose the £7 Games Club option. It's an opportunity for you to come and explore Games Club. I'd love to have you there. I'd love for you to experience our weekly teaching. We do weekly live teaching, at least once, normally twice. And we also have a really cool, huge library of games that you will never exhaust, literally never exhaust. In addition to that, you can see the super cool bumper pack, and that bumper pack may change contents, but as you can see, they're physical goodies here. You've got your book, you've got your line, you've got your mats, you've got your calm. The contents may vary depending on when you hit and click the link, but we have got them in stock right now, and I'd love for you to get hold of your bumper pack. It's a mega deal. You're saving mega amounts of money. I'd love to have you part of that. Now, what I'd like to say is A to B is a really impactful game for your dog, as are all of the games we play with Games Club. So when you join Games Club, just £7 for your first month, they're all valid. If you're a Games Clubber and you'd like to share what you think of Games Club, please, 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 please do let us know. And yes, Carrie will definitely help a way for you to sign up students. That would be fantastic. And Tracy says, amazing, join right now. Chelsea says, amazing. Debbie Hittle, she shared it. You're gonna win. You're gonna win a month of Games Club or a goodie voucher. So you get to have a goodie voucher for one of our digital vouchers. So you literally get to spend it on store. And Karen said it's a very cool pack. Chelsea has shared. Lorna has shared. Amazing, guys. And if you do share, let me know below, because I may pick another few people to win. Okay, I've got a great question from Ruth Bond, who says, how can I stop, God, your questions are coming fast. How can I stop my dog pulling immediately as we leave the house? Let me pull these down on the floor. I've got questions, I've got comments, I've got loads of things going on. So we've got a dog that pulls. And I'm going to say, before you even leave the house, let's actually start the games in the house. So some of the games we play in Games Club, and remember, we've just had the offer that you guys get to, here's my little dog. He's on his boundary. You guys get to be part of Games Club and get all of these games. If you choose to get these games, you get to have all of these games and all the things we do. But I would start my learning in the house. So my learning is going to start in the house, on the boundary, teaching my boundary games, and actually seeing that I've got a dog who actually does want to work with me and listen. I'm going to actually work on lead games in the house. I'm going to work on lead games in the garden. I'm going to work on lead games at home before I take them out and about. And at the point that they're out and about, if I go out and my dog's already there, I'm probably already on to a losing battle. I don't want to start my going out with my dog like crazy. So I'm going to start my game training in the house and before I even get out of the house. And if my dog isn't appropriate in the house, then no, we're not going straight out the house. We're going to train more in the house. And of course, we're going to do maybe toilet breaks outside or like potty breaks, depending on where you are. I know America, you say potty breaks. But for me, I'm going to do toilet breaks outside. But I'm actually going to do some of my training in my own garden, in my own yard, in my own training space. But what I'm not going to do is get them straight out and about and straight on the big parks, because they're clearly not ready for it. And I think that's really important to acknowledge. Does that make sense? If your dog is pulling, one thing I definitely would do is consider that if you carry on walking whilst your dog is pulling, you are rehearsing and rewarding pulling. So don't keep walking if your dog is pulling. Don't let them cut across you. Don't let them cut behind you. Don't let them spin. Ideally, double lead. And let's work on, actually, this is a reinforcement zone and this is where I want you. I move forward, like I showed you a little Katie earlier. I move forward, you move forward. I move backwards, you move backwards. Actually, these are really important foundation skills, and things that we need to know. Loads of games in Games Club. Type in pulling on leash, or type in leash walking, or stop pulling, or a dog with pulling problems, and we're going to have loads there for you. So if you haven't already, let me just pick up my kit. Jump into Games Club. You've got the offer there. It's there for you. It's £7. It's £7 for your first month. That is incredible value. Even if you dip your toes in, see how you get on. I'd love to have you there, and I'd love to be giving you the weekly coaching that we give. We have twice a week coaching sessions. Some are on house fitness, so stuff you can do in the house, and some of it's on games that we're playing. And also, you're always going to get your live Q&A opportunity. So your live Q&A is there. Now, I'd love to take some more live Q&A. I'm absolutely happy to help. Elaine says, this has worked so much for us, and it really works if it doesn't feel right to go back home. And I love that. So Elaine says, yeah, it's really working. Ethan says, how do you stop my dog lying down as soon as he sees a person or a dog waiting for them to greet him? So that's something I would work on, actually, disengagement. So he's able to disengage. It's a great question, Ethan. Loads of that in Games Club. Again, join £7 for your first month. Loads of that. Type in disengagement. There are a lot of games. I don't know if someone in Games Club can quickly type it in, but disengagement, there'll be loads of games. Tell me how many games you came up with when you typed in disengagement, one of our Games Clubbers. And if you're a Games Clubber, tell everyone in the comments how much you love Games Club, because I know it's a magical space to be. So a dog like that is actually struggling, and they're struggling on their ability to understand how to meet and greet. And so for me, what I'd like to do with a dog like that is get them moving, whether I do A to B, whether I do DMT, whether I do a level of figure of 8, whether I do getting them up and just getting them out of dodge, whether I do a bit of treat delivery and catch, whether I do a bit of play, distraction. What I do need to do is get that dog moving. So I do need to get that dog moving, because they're kind of broken in the chain. They're struggling in the chain of meet and greet. And it's really important I do get them moving, but get them moving inappropriately. My favorite way of working on that would be like a meander zigzag type walk. That would really help too. But there's so many games in Games Club. It's just £7. Jump in, have a look. There's so much there for you. And the brand new Stop Reactivity course is in there too. That Stop Reactivity course, alongside probably 7 or 8 other stop courses. So there's loads of the stop courses. They're all there for you. So there's a lot of them there for you. And if you're part of Games Club, please tell everyone in the comments how much you love Games Club and why. So there's all your stop badges. You've got Stop Reactivity, you've got Stop Barking, you've got Stop Pulling, you've got Stop Jumping, you've got Stop Stealing, you've got Stop Separation Anxiety. They're all included with your Games Club membership, and all of them are clear courses that you get to work through, and they are all part of Games Club. So it's just £7 for your first month. You use the code Reactivity7 at the checkout. Reactivity7, sorry for those of you that I said it was something else. It's Reactivity7 at the checkout. I love it. Kinga's Corner says, I've learned so much since being with Games Club. And Nona says, I use my Games Club so much. It's great value. And Chelsea says, I love Games Club. I love what we can pick up, that we can pick the games, make our own playlists, and literally play from there. The search is super helpful, and I love the different levels and troubleshooting every week. And I love seeing you every week. I love getting to play the games weekly with you, and I love getting to Q&A and problem solve. Okay, a couple of other Q&As here, guys. So my dog gets distracted easily on walks, especially around other dogs. Do games help to improve focus? Let me know in the comments if games have helped to improve your focus. And I'm going to quickly demo with my two Stooge and Stuff dogs here. So I'm going to say my dog gets easily loses focus here with my other dog. Let me just get my other dog back on camera. There we go. We've got our two dogs. So my dog easily loses focus. And I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to take this lead off, and I'm going to put on our brand new long line. And when I use a line, I would always put the line on the harness clip. Let me know, guys, if that makes sense. So I would prefer not to put a line on a collar. You can put a line on a collar. I personally, because I'll often stand on a line, because I'm going to stand on it, I don't want to jolt them through the collar. I'd prefer to put it through the harness, so the pressure goes through the harness. The other thing I'll do with a long line is I will put some knots in it. So if you haven't already had a long line, put a couple of knots in your long line. And you don't want a handle on the end. So I never want a handle. I don't want it to trap on anything. I'm trying to work out which camera I'm looking at. That's the camera maybe. No, that's the camera maybe. No, that's the camera maybe. There you go, I got it. So this one here, I don't want that to have a leash or a handle rather on it. The reason I don't want that to have a handle is I actually don't want that to trap on anything. I like these as they are. So those of you getting the bumper packs, really nice long line, really good long line. My preference is pink, but there's lots of different colours available. And we'll send you, we've got a really cool variety, and you wait till you see what you get in your bumper pack. It's going to be cool. Okay, so I've got my long line. Now, my dog, let's say, is over here and wants to meet and greet. And actually when I finish and I don't want him to meet and greet any longer and this dog's still here trying to play, I am actually just going to pick up my long line and I'm just going to gently bring my dog away. So when I bring my dog away, normally that dog is going to get disinterested because I've created space. So as that dog's disinterested, I now get a chance to play with this dog. Maybe I get a chance to play with this dog. Maybe I do some middle. Maybe I do some magic hand, but I can do it all with a long line on as well. And because I've got the long line on too, that's going to really enable me to play the games, but also to know I've got the ability to have the long line. And often I will drop the long line, but I'll still play the game. So I'm playing magic hand, I'm playing a level of middle, I'm playing all the other games that I want to be playing, but I've got my line on to back me up. Now, as my dog gets more experience, what you can do is you can then go to your puppy line, so your thinner line. So as the dog's more experienced, we can go to a smaller line. And the reason I would go to a smaller line is I want to eventually fade the line. So I want to eventually not have the line at all. However, you can see I've gone from double-ended lead to long line to puppy line. So I've got a level of stages. It's a bit like when you've got a bike and you go from like big sort of kids bike to bike with stabilizers to bike with no stabilizers. This is like small stabilizers. So I've got small stabilizers, but I can still pick it up at any time. I can still knot this line. So when I've got knots on it, guys, remember your knot is just going to help you when you go to stand on it. That'll come through to here and then stop. So it comes to a stop point, which is really, really nice. And then the other thing that I really like about having a long line like this one is that it's light enough for your dog really not to notice it too much. So don't notice it, still on the harness. And the line just allows me to, let's say, I don't know, he decides that he wants to go and interact with his friend again. It just allows me to pick it up, reel him back in and say, actually, that's not where we're going to be. That's not so appropriate. And I get to sort of effectively redirect his attention back in the direction that I want his attention. So I say, no, this is the way we're heading here, bud, not that way. And if he really is struggling, see, he's been quite attentive. I can't get him away now. So if he's there and I'm really struggling, remember you can still A to B on the line, but you then get to give them the opportunity and the choice to play again with you. So I really like using lines in my training. I think they just back me up and they give me extra arms and legs and length. And I think that's quite important. So hopefully you can see that that makes sense too. Right, I've messed up kit. I've got kit everywhere. But I'm going to take your questions. So I'm going to take more questions. I've got a couple more questions and I'm very happy to answer live questions as well, guys. So if you want me to answer any live questions, I'm very happy to. Are the lines suitable for large breeds? Yes, so absolutely suitable for large breeds. So the thicker line at first and then the thinner line. Remember, you shouldn't really be putting a lot of tension through the lines. If you're putting tension through a long line, you're not using it correctly. The line is not to put tension through. The line is your backup when it's like your safety net. So it's your safety net. You shouldn't be using it with tension. This is not something you're putting tension through. If you've got a lot of tension in your long line, something in your training is going wrong. Remember, that's what Games Club is all about, playing games to get your training to go in the right direction. That's really, really important. So really important. Okay, you've got some kit, use it. I've shown you the puppy line. So I've shown you the puppy line. Let me get this one up. So I've shown you the puppy line. You've got the puppy line. I've shown you the double clip lead. I've talked about the double clip lead. I've got so many leads, I don't know what to do now. So I've got the double clip lead. I would use the double clip lead. We've got the long line. I would use the long line. We've got the puppy line. I would use the puppy line. They're all good bits of kit when you're working on transitioning your dog in games and games-based learning. So please, 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 please do use them. You've also got, guys, if you've got the bumper pack, you've got some more knowledge and some more content to get hold of and digest. And if you've jumped into Games Club, you've got hundreds of games, not just a few games, hundreds of games. And just £7 for the first month. It's mega. Okay, questions. What are some ways to help my dog stop reacting to every noise or movement? Remember the live bonus. The live bonus DMT. Remember the live bonus, guys. The live bonus is mega DMT. All you need to do is play DMT to really impact and help your reactive dog. DMT is such a mega game. I can't explain to you how much. Like it's a real superpower game, and it's going to put you back in the driver's seat. I know you want to be back in the driver's seat. I feel you want to be back in the driver's seat. Get back in the driver's seat. DMT is your game. So DMT is your game. And the whole new Stop Reactivity course in Games Club. So jump into Games Club, £7, whole new course for you. Jump in, go get them, Tiger. It's all yours. Okay, what else have we got? I want to train my dog. I don't have much time during the day. How much time do I need to commit to see results that I want? For me, it's not actually how much time, it's the quality of what you're doing. So it's quality over quantity. I like lots of little sessions. So when I get up in the morning, when I have my lunch, when I take a break, early in the afternoon, in the evening, when I go home, I love playing games at little intervals. I think 3-minute sessions, 4-minute sessions, 5-minute sessions are way better than 1-hour sessions. I want to dispel the myth. So let's dispel some myths here. You do not need to go to a dog training class to train your dog. You do not need to go to a dog training class to train your dog. Games Club, absolutely doable. You training your dog in your home, in your own house, with us as coaches. Literally, our team are immense at dog training. They're immense at dog training, a whole team of us. I'm one of the dog trainers, but the games that you'll see in there, lots of different dog trainers. And the cool thing is we all have the same methodology, which is games-based learning, concept training. And I've got a little bit more teaching on that for you, so don't go anywhere. I've got a cool concept training. I'm sure I've got a concept training cool video for you that I want you to see. So yeah, you don't need a lot of time. You need good intention. You need to know what you're doing. Watch the video, play the game, get the real life result. That is my goal for you. That is my intention, and it's a strong intention, and I know you can do it. I know you can smash it, in fact. And then, how do I know if my dog is anxious or just being stubborn? I would say very few dogs are stubborn. I would say I haven't really met stubborn dogs. I would say most dogs are nervous, fearful, anxious, overexcited, overstimulated, lacking understanding. I say there's a lot of dogs who don't understand what you want, and you're expecting a lot of your dog, but your dog doesn't understand what you want. Your dog doesn't speak your language. So please learn to speak a language that talks to dogs. It's concept-based training. It's join the Games Club, £7. I want you there. So read our books, get involved in our learning. There's so much there for you, and you will understand your dog better, and in turn you'll get a better relationship with your dog. And for me, that's just heartwarming. To have a great relationship with your dog is just heartwarming. Okay, I've noticed my dog becoming more reactive over time. How can I stop this from getting worse? I think that's really, really important. Number one, you saw little Katie. I do use Calm Canine. There's a site-wide sale on really right now. And the reason it's on right now, and you can use this code once, guys, it's Reactivity. So if you want to buy a few things, buy them all together. 20% off site-wide. The code is Reactivity. It's a-ok9.com. So definitely head over to aok9.com, get your AOK9 goodies, or get your bumper pack, because your bumper pack's got Calm Canine in as well. But for me, that's a really nice way of helping and supporting your dog through a reactive period. In addition to that, training games and you understanding a bit more. I want to help coach you to understand your dog better, because when you understand your dog, what's going to happen is you're going to start speaking the same language. You're going to literally be on the same page, and you and your dog are going to work together as a better team. That's my goal for you, and I hope you're with me on that one. Okay, last question. I've got so many I want to pick. There's so many I want to pick. I've tried really so many training methods, several training methods in fact, but my dog is still really quite naughty. What else can I do? I would say you haven't tried games-based learning, and games-based learning really does work. I've met the naughtiest of dogs. I've met every breed that's been labelled stubborn, difficult, and obnoxious even. We've trained with Bull Terriers, we've trained with Staffies, we've trained with Beagles. Beagles can be definitely pretty interesting to train. Salukis, Lurchers, Bull Mastiffs. We've trained every breed that you can imagine. I don't think there's a breed we haven't trained. Chinese Crested, Chihuahuas, which certainly have, you know what? Armed and dangerous. Be aware of a Chihuahua, I tell you now. German Shepherds. We've trained every breed. And I would say that The single biggest thing that works in dog training is games-based and concept-based learning. And I've got a video that's going to help you with that in a minute. So really, really mega, huge stuff. So guys, are there any questions? I know I've got a couple of other videos I want to take you to, but I'd like to know, are there any questions? In fact, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to think about your questions. I've got a video for you to head to now. You get to hear from some of our game changers. I'd love you to listen to the video. I'm going to be here as soon as you come back. If you haven't already shared, share and tell me you've shared, because I'd love to give you one of my share prizes. And I'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Hi, I'm Lauren. I own one of the largest training facilities in the whole of the UK. I'm an agility champion and I've trained dogs and their owners for over 20 years now with incredible success and results. I know all too well how overwhelming sharing your life with a dog can sometimes be. You bring a new puppy or a new dog into your household and the stark reality of where you are and your dog owning dream, well, it's not quite how you envisioned it. It isn't what you signed up for. It isn't what you thought it was going to be. Come on, let's go. You know, I've been there and I've held owners in tears as they've really struggled through this. They've dealt with every pet professional, every trainer. They've been on YouTube, they've been on Google, they've been in every single pet forum, but with little to no results. See, I've worked with and consulted on hundreds of cases, if not thousands. You know what? Biting, barking, lunging, reactivity to people, reactivity to dogs, and huge separation struggles. The thing is that so many of these struggles look like actually normal life is seriously beyond their grasp. As much as I've seen that relationships can be damaged almost irreparably, I've also been able to guide, facilitate and support and help the transformation behaviourally of thousands and thousands of dogs worldwide through the power of games and games-based training using concepts at the very core of our training plans. You're here because you're facing a challenge with your dog and you need a solution. I'm here to tell you that hope is not lost, that your dog's behaviour today is not forever, it's just right now, and that we, myself and my team at Absolute Dogs, we're here to help. Inspired to share games and to transform the lives of even more dogs and their owners, I knew we had the opportunity to create something really special. What we wanted was a one-stop destination that was easily affordable and accessible for every dog and their owner. And that's why Games Club, the dog training academy of games and dog behaviour transformation, was born. Games Club is a powerhouse with over 450 games to support and help you and your dog. You'll be empowered to change your dog's behaviour and to get the results that you have struggled to achieve. Games Club is a one-stop hub featuring everything you and your dog could need, and the cool thing is there's exclusive membership content that is literally going to blow your mind. You get comprehensive access to all of our most popular 10 days to stop training courses that focus on separation anxiety, barking, jumping, pulling on lead, dogs that steal, reactivity and so much more. The cool thing is that all of these courses are worth individually over £47. That's a massive mega saving for you. All of these are included in your Games Club membership. What's more, you get immediate access to a library of over 450 games. How cool is that? Video resources, and even better, you also get written instructions to your lessons, step-by-step guides that are going to catapult you to dog training success. All you need to do is watch the video, play the game and unleash the real life results with your dog. With all of the content in the Games Club, it's easily valued at well over £3,000. And yet the library is just the very beginning, the tip of the iceberg of all of the things that you're going to get as a Games Club member. A private community, a safe space of brilliant experts and students and trainers where we all come together and we align. You also get, in addition to this, live training weekly. That's with myself and that is also with my team of experts. It's insane, it's immense. I want you to come and join us. In addition to that, if that wasn't enough, then you also get access to struggle-specific collections. So maybe your dog is jumping up, or maybe your dog is not coming back, or maybe you're struggling with your dog greeting and meeting other dogs out on a walk inappropriately appropriately. You name it, we've got you covered. You get our tracks. They're a series of videos in a linear progression fashion where you're going to be able to see exactly how we do it, where we do it, when we do it, and how it builds. It builds for you and it builds for your dog. In addition to this, we give you a weekly newsletter. Our weekly newsletter has got all of your solutions in one space, an easy to access location. That's there to help and facilitate you. And there's so much more. I literally could go on forever. All of the training at your fingertips in an easily accessible place. Here at Absolute Dogs, we love to over-deliver. All of those benefits would be yours and they'd be easily valued at over another £700. And yet for a very limited time, you have the opportunity to jump into Games Club. Come and join me for so much less. We recognise that when we developed the Games Club, it really needed to be financially accessible to all. And I know you might be thinking, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford this, but I think we're going to surprise you. So instead of requiring a huge, large instalment or maybe even some massive upfront payment, we want to make sure that this is sustainable and it's sustainable for you. So we decided to offer it for obligation-free, £30 or $40 a month. Literally zero obligations. Cancel at any time. We're offering a 90-day money-back guarantee and immediate unrestricted access to all of our content. So all you need to do is take action right now. Hit the link below or scan the QR code with your camera and I want you to come and join me. What on earth are you waiting for? Come and join me in the Games Club right now. Your dog's behaviour transformation starts today. We have had some fantastic questions and you guys have been amazing at quizzing me on this. So Elaine, you've been super today actually throughout the whole of the live, but you say reactivity is always going to be bigger through intact bitches or intact dogs. Is this true or is it a myth? I would say, you know what, sometimes there are struggles with dogs being intact, sometimes there are struggles the other way with dogs not being intact. I think the biggest thing is read the dog in front of you, train the dog in front of you and respond to the dog in front of you. Train what you see and respond as you do. I think that's really key. And we're going to help you throughout the whole of the Games Club. You're going to jump in if you haven't already. It's just £7 for your first month. You might have even grabbed your bumper pack, and you can grab your bumper pack even if you are a member of Games Club or not. You can grab that bumper pack. The cool thing is, and this is a really cool thing, you're going to feel more empowered to handle an intact dog or a dog who isn't intact just because you're going to know the solutions. I think this is really key. Now, a couple of things I want to just recap. Some of the things, I suppose, the hacks, the tips, the skills that I've learned over the years. Number one, use your kit. You've got kit to use, whether that's a long line, a double-ended lead, whether it's your body, whether it's your toys, your treats, your voice, your verbals, your clicker. Remember, those come in your bumper pack right now. The cool thing is you get the opportunity here to use yourself. And I think that you've got the kit. Now what we're going to do is help to coach you with how to use it. And I think this is really important that you know what you're doing because we want to skill you up. And I know that you're going to feel better when you're more skilled. The second thing I want you to take away from this is train for this moment, not in this moment. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, my dog is struggling when they go to the park. Rather than take them to the park, let's train at home. Let's train in the garden. Let's train in the front garden. Let's train in the back garden. Let's borrow a neighbour's yard. Let's ask a friend if we can train in their space. Let's hire one of those fields because right now in the UK there are so many training fields that you can go and hire and use and train in. Let's hire a field and train in. Let's go to a safe space to work in before we put them in the situation. Let's not put them in the situation before they understand the situation. I think that's really impactful. I think that's really big. I think that's huge, huge, cool, brilliant learning. Okay, another thing, and I think this is important, dispel the myth of you need to be in a class. You do not need to be in a training class. You can train in your living room. This is games-based learning, and all of what we show you pretty much can be done in a garden or a living room, and that's really cool. Whatever space you have, we're going to make it work for you, and we're going to teach you live each and every week in addition to all of your video library. And you can access your video library any time of day, night or day, 24/7. That access is there for you. Just £7 for your first month. Hit the QR code, come and join me. I'd love to see you in there. I want you to surround yourself with the right people. I want you to surround yourself with the right energy. I want you to surround yourself with the right trainers. I want you to surround yourself with people who make you feel good. I know that the trainers in our games club, they're going to want to support you through your journey. They're going to want to high five you and tell you what a great job you're doing when you're doing it. And when you're feeling low and it's not going so well, they're going to coach you, support you, and give you all the ideas. We've got an online community. You can ask questions day or night, 24/7. We're there to support you. Surround yourself with the right type of people. I think it's important. Also, give yourself some wins. I think this is really impactful, really key. You know what, when you're handling a difficult dog, like little MJ here, Jack Russell Terrier monkey, when you're handling a difficult dog, I think it's really impactful that you have some wins, because if you don't have any wins, you start to feel like, what's the point? Why me? Life is awful. I'm feeling down. Give yourself an easy win. He recalled today. Amazing. You know what? He responded today. Yes, he caught his treat. Woohoo! I've never been so happy as when my dog catches their first treat. Like, it's ridiculous. We're training dogs. Like, what on earth is that making me ecstatic for? You know what? It makes you feel good to take the easy win. The next one is ditch the bowl. You can see here, if I just lift my treat pouch, this is my food bowl in here. These may be available on the website. So if you go to the Absolute Dogs website, these may be available. It depends on stock. So they may be available on the website. I put my dog's dinner in here. So I've got their dinner on me as pups with me all day long. But equally, if they're an adult, they can also have the dinner in here too. So it's a great space to be. Again, ditch the bowl, put your dinner in here, let your dog learn that way. And I think it's impactful, again, for your games club and your learning, that you can play games at any point. So throughout the day, that's with you whenever you're training. And then I really want you to think about, rather than saying training, I want you to say games. I'm going out to play some games. I'm not going to do some hard teaching or some hard learning or some hard training. I'm playing games. For God's sake, what can be wrong with the world when you're playing games? Seriously. Like, be happy, lighten up, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, don't take yourself so seriously. Let's play some games with our dogs. Like, this is what the world's about. Let's have more fun. There's enough seriousness in the world. Let's enjoy the good stuff. Grab the good stuff. Let's play some games. Let's reframe it. We're not training hard stuff. We're playing games, right? We're having a lighthearted time and we're playing games. And then think about the people that maybe aren't in your corner and not fighting your corner. If someone's putting a lot of pressure on you, if it's hard for you and your dog and it's feeling uncomfortable, limit that pressure and don't train in that space. If it's not feeling good for you, if you're not enjoying it, don't go back there. Limit the people that pressure you, limit the people that make you feel bad in your training. Don't necessarily put yourself in that space. The other thing I'm going to say is sometimes we need to ditch the walk. And I don't mean forever. I just mean sometimes we need to say, okay, I'm not going to let you go back there until we've sorted this out. So let's sort this out and then we'll go back in that situation. So sometimes we need to ditch the walk. And I'm going to say games for the win. And Minnie Jasper's going to say yes too. So games for the win, I think they're really impactful. Now, before we head out of here, guys, a couple of things to recap on, and I've still got some more teaching for you. So I've got some really cool concept training that I want you to be here for. I don't want you to miss it. I'm also game to do a few more shares. So if you guys want to share, I would love you to share, and I'm going to come back to that. If you've received incredible value from being here, please let us know. We love to hear it. My whole team are watching. They're taking notes, and they're learning. The Games Club, guys, you get your first month for just £7. You're literally saving over 75% first month. Incredible. The code is Reactivity7, and you could also get that Reactivity bumper pack where you save over £240 and you get incredible learning and incredible materials and incredible, like all of these things here, as long as they're in stock. If not, we'll give you the most similar that we can, but everything on here is in stock right now. So I can tell you that it's there right now. Now, that's absolutedogs.me/bumper pack. That's all there for you. I have loved spending my time with you. I hope you've loved it too. If you haven't shared it already, 100% love all of you guys sharing. Gemma Golding, you get to win a prize. You get to win a prize. If you're already a Games Clubber, you're going to get a voucher. If you're not already a Games Clubber, you get to have a month of Games Club. I love having you here. I love you guys sharing. I love you guys caring. I love you guys wanting to make dogs' lives better all over the world. Here's a little bit more learning, and I invite you to come join me on the Games Club if you haven't already. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to get to train dogs with you, and I'll see you real soon.
Imagine you could teach your dog all the skills they need to fit into the world that they're part of and help them make the very best decisions in any situation. no nagging, no having to be one step ahead, watching out for distractions, wondering if your dog is going to make the right choice, because you know they've got the skills to handle things and behave appropriately. Doesn't that sound like a great way to train? When you focus on the skills that your dog needs to behave appropriately and to feel confident and secure, both at home and out in the world, then you prepare them for life. Sounds pretty great, right? But how do you do that? And how is that different from other ways of training? Welcome to Concept Training Explained, training for the situation. In the typical world of dog training, you turn up for puppy class and the first thing on the agenda will likely be learning a sit, learning a down and learning a stay. You may spend some time learning to walk beautifully on lead around the church hall. The problem with this is that training your dog a series of behaviours in a class environment does not prepare them for real life. They might learn to sit beautifully in class and even at home, but then you ask them to sit on a walk or even when a visitor comes to your door, and it's likely they've never even heard of the word sit before. That learning doesn't always translate to real life situations full of distractions and many other options. It also doesn't prepare them for the dog that's going to run up to them unexpectedly on a walk. It's not going to prepare them to listen to you when next door's cat suddenly appears or when a squirrel shakes its bushy little tail and invites them to chase. Unlike more traditional training that teaches behaviours, concept training focuses on broader skills or concepts like calmness, focus, optimism and self-control. You can imagine these concepts like the building blocks of your dog's brain, all of which combine to make up your dog's unique personality. Not every dog naturally has all the skills they need to fit into the world that we expect them to be part of and make the choices that are appropriate. Perhaps your dog is maybe a little pessimistic. They get easily spooked. Other dogs maybe scare them, or maybe your dog is really easily distracted. Everything seems to grab their attention and they think everything is part of their business. Or it could be that your dog flips between calmness and craziness with very little in between. One moment they're snoozing soundly, the next, something as small as a knock on the door has them swinging from the chandelier. All that means is that your dog's brain is currently missing some of those really important concepts that would help them make the very best choices in those situations. Some of those building blocks really are missing. But that's okay, because you can fill in those missing pieces and strengthen those concepts that your dog is a little weaker in right now. And believe it or not, the answer is games. By playing games that teach your dog the skill of disengagement, you will find that they are much more able to ignore distractions without you having to nag or guide their choices. By teaching your dog the value of proximity, they're going to have much more value hanging out with you than maybe checking out what else is on offer, which in turn is going to mean less stressful walks, more reliable recall, and great loose lead walking. By teaching your dog to flex their optimism muscle, you change their brain to be more optimistic in turn. Suddenly, things that spooked them are now less crazy, less scary. Situations that might previously have overwhelmed them, they can take in their stride. This is truly powerful learning. Concept training goes way beyond teaching behaviours because it gives your dog the skills that they're going to need for life and a brain that is shaped in a way which means their choices are always appropriate, whatever the situation. Just as importantly, your dog's brain has to be shaped for the situation they might encounter in life before being put in those situations. It's another vital aspect in the way that we train. More conventional training says that you have to take your dog to the situation that they're struggling in and then teach them how to behave. However, what commonly happens is the situation really is too much and they can't cope. Just as importantly, they're really not in a space where they can learn. So instead of training them in the situation, we believe that training them for the situation is much more helpful. It can help to think of it like this. Would you teach your child maths by forcing them to do a maths test? No, you absolutely wouldn't. You teach them the maths that they needed and the skills that they needed beforehand in order to be able to take the test. Trying to teach your dog new skills in a stressful situation is rarely going to be successful. It leads to a frustrated owner who's working against their dog. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. It makes much more sense to reshape that peg so it actually fits into the hole. Not only that, the more your dog practices not having skills for a particular situation, the more they're going to rehearse inappropriate choices and less desirable behaviours, which will make it more likely that they do the same thing when they get put back in that situation. You and your dog really do end up trapped in a vicious circle. By focusing on training concepts away from the situations that your dog doesn't have the skills to handle, you get to teach them all of the great skills that will set them up for life. In your living room, your kitchen, your garden. This way your dog learns those skills before they're ever going to need them. Whether you and your dog are working on recall or loose lead walking or calmness around visitors, appropriate interactions with other dogs, or any other skill that your dog might need as you journey through life together, training really should start at home and in the easy environments where your dog really can learn, and those building blocks are going to get strengthened. Then when you take your dog out and about to a more challenging situation, they will have the skills to tackle those situations with ease, making the very best choices, and they're going to feel like winners. Are you feeling inspired to give concept training a try? Are you ready to get playing the games, boosting your relationship with your dog and giving them the skills to handle life like a pro? For all the dog training you could ever need and a supportive community of like-minded dog owners and dog training professionals cheering you on, Games Club really has you covered. With over 400 videos on everything from barking to lead walking, it really does have everything you need to unlock your dog's full potential. And we'd love to welcome you home.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I own one of the largest training facilities in the whole of the UK. I'm an agility champion and I've trained dogs and their owners for over 20 years now with incredible success and results. I know all too well how overwhelming sharing your life with a dog can sometimes be. You bring a new puppy or a new dog into your household and the stark reality of where you are and your dog owning dream, well, it's not quite how you envisioned it. It isn't what you signed up for. It isn't what you thought it was going to be. Come on, let's go. You know, I've been there and I've held owners in tears as they've really struggled through this. They've dealt with every pet professional, every trainer. They've been on YouTube, they've been on Google, they've been in every single pet forum, but with little to no results. See, I've worked with and consulted on hundreds of cases, if not thousands. You know what? Biting, barking, lunging, reactivity to people, reactivity to dogs, and huge separation struggles. The thing is that so many of these struggles look like actually normal life is seriously beyond their grasp. As much as I've seen that relationships can be damaged almost irreparably, I've also been able to guide, facilitate and support and help the transformation behaviourally of thousands and thousands of dogs worldwide through the power of games and games-based training using concepts at the very core of our training plans. You're here because you're facing a challenge with your dog and you need a solution. I'm here to tell you that hope is not lost, that your dog's behaviour today is not forever, it's just right now, and that we, myself and my team at Absolute Dogs, we're here to help. Inspired to share games and to transform the lives of even more dogs and their owners, I knew we had the opportunity to create something really special. What we wanted was a one-stop destination that was easily affordable and accessible for every dog and their owner. And that's why Games Club, the dog training academy of games and dog behaviour transformation, was born. Games Club is a powerhouse with over 450 games to support and help you and your dog. You'll be empowered to change your dog's behaviour and to get the results that you have struggled to achieve. Games Club is a one-stop hub featuring everything you and your dog could need, and the cool thing is there's exclusive membership content that is literally going to blow your mind. You get comprehensive access to all of our most popular 10 days to stop training courses that focus on separation anxiety, barking, jumping, pulling on lead, dogs that steal, reactivity and so much more. The cool thing is that all of these courses are worth individually over £47. That's a massive mega saving for you. All of these are included in your Games Club membership. What's more, you get immediate access to a library of over 450 games. How cool is that? Video resources, and even better, you also get written instructions to your lessons, step-by-step guides that are going to catapult you to dog training success. All you need to do is watch the video, play the game and unleash the real life results with your dog. With all of the content in the Games Club, it's easily valued at well over £3,000. And yet the library is just the very beginning, the tip of the iceberg of all of the things that you're going to get as a Games Club member. a private community, a safe space of brilliant experts and students and trainers where we all come together and we align. You also get, in addition to this, live training weekly. That's with myself, and that is also with my team of experts. It's insane, it's immense. I want you to come and join us. In addition to that, if that wasn't enough, then you also get access to struggle specific collections. So maybe your dog is jumping up, or maybe your dog is not coming back, or maybe you're struggling with your dog greeting and meeting other dogs out on a walk inappropriately. You name it, we've got you covered. You get our tracks. They're a series of videos in a linear progression fashion where you're going to be able to see exactly how we do it, where we do it, when we do it, and how it builds. It builds for you and it builds for your dog. In addition to this, we give you a weekly newsletter. Our weekly newsletter has got all of your solutions in one space, an easy to access location. That's there to help and facilitate you. And there's so much more. I literally could go on forever. All of the training at your fingertips in an easily accessible place. Here at Absolute Dogs, we love to over-deliver. All of those benefits would be yours, and they'd be easily valued at over another £700. And yet, for a very limited time, you have the opportunity to jump into Games Club. Come and join me for so much less. We recognise that when we developed the Games Club, it really needed to be financially accessible to all. And I know you might be thinking, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford this, but I think we're going to surprise you. So instead of requiring a huge, large instalment, or maybe even some massive upfront payment, we want to make sure that this is sustainable, and it's sustainable for you. So we decided to offer it for obligation-free, £30 or $40 a month. Literally zero obligations. Cancel at any time. We're offering a 90-day money-back guarantee and immediate unrestricted access to all of our content. So all you need to do is take action right now. Hit the link below or scan the QR code with your camera, and I want you to come and join me. What on earth are you waiting for? Come and join me in the Games Club right now. Your dog's behaviour transformation starts today. Hi, I'm Lauren. I own one of the largest training facilities. It's DMT. What on earth do I